Yo, what's up, guys? And this was one of those, as Childish calls it, epic fails. I recorded this whole freaking video without having the record button on. Fuck my life! So yeah, we're playing Origin and we're playing against Zakra Club 2, and they have been using a lot of these Montes. Montes is technically a poor man's Dominic, more or less. At least that's how they used it. And I would say they used it in pretty decent offense, which I would say has some potential to actually do some proper wins. In lower ranks though. In higher ranks, I'm not entirely sure like how good this would be. Especially I've seen a lot of those defenses with zero will. And I never recommend to go zero will because if you're playing against a guild that writes down your defenses, which I think most of the top guilds, if not all top guilds, actually do, it is very easy to say like, oh, this person doesn't have will, so therefore just go in with a Geni and then do whatever. Like you're literally free to do whatever. If you start a full non-will team, you go in with a Geni, you outspeed it because Geni has high base speed. It's very simple. So even if just the Molly is on will, or in this case, if I look at this team, Molly could be Nemesis, but then again, you're mostly focusing Molly as last. So does Molly really need Nemesis? No, you can put Molly on will. Putting the Theomars on Destroy, I would say is very beneficial. And besides that, the Monte, I think is a must on will. So you kind of have to look at it like these kind of ways for crafting these defenses. Also, Monte, as he did in this case, can drain a lot of the attack bar, and then Theomars can potentially snipe a unit. So with that potential, I would say Monte is a decent unit for defense, but then again, it's still a poor man's, what's it called, Dominic, because Dominic is just way better at doing those things. However, Monte can strip. Strip of Monte is pretty nice, so that's some option, some potential that you have in there that he still makes, that you could say like, okay, this is doable. Let's say we have a tower full of this team with a Dominic and we want to put something similar to it, but we don't have enough Dominics, then this could be an option of saying like, okay, we're going to try this out. Would I say it's better than Dominic? Probably not. However, what I can say is that Monte needs a lot less rune quality. So on lower ranks, with less rune quality in general, and you can focus all of your rune quality on the Theomars, for example, it might actually be better to go for these Monte defenses, because Dominic is just all rune quality. If he doesn't have the rune quality, he's not going to do damage, he's not going to be tanky, he's not going to have that much of an impact. So that's actually, I haven't thought of that, but that does actually make sense. So this is one of my offenses I crafted recently. It's very free to play, as you can see. But this is without the buff monkey yet. But I don't think having the buff monkey will change this team all too much. It makes it slightly more consistent on stunning, but it's not that much better, I would say. So then this team, I really like Amber against these kind of teams because there's not really a cleanse. The moment Dominic gets more stacks, or any units get more stacks and they're focusing the Amber, they do reduce damage. So that was also my plan in SWC, for example. If the Molong actually was properly hit by debuffs, the Reckless Assault from the Molong on the Amber would have done like jack shit damage. However, you first have to actually land shit for that, and in this case I have a Rica to back me up on doing damage. That makes things a lot easier. If she's just by herself, she can go in like the fuckery state where she just doesn't land jack shit, because in the end she got 3 to 4 hits on 70% activation rate, which is very doable to land a whole bunch of things, but sometimes just doesn't land enough, as we have seen in the past. So then more Montes. This is, I guess, the poor man situation for what if you do not have a Molly. Then Asher is a fine replacement as well. But then again, as I said before, I wouldn't go non-will on those units because it's just too open for so many things. And it just makes things so easy. Well, here, like with the team I'm using currently, if I had will or non-will, wouldn't have mattered jack shit. but you get what I mean. And we're actually zooming through all of those hits right now. Going in with a Shiner Martina. Actually upped my Shiner Martina for doing more damage, mainly through artifacts. I found like I was farming artifacts for a little bit at some point, and I didn't get the things I needed, but I did get upgrades on damage together. So if I'm not mistaken, Shiner has about like 31% damage together, and the Martina has about like 29 or 30 as well. So they just do so fucking much damage, it's insane. Next hit, a Coco hit. I haven't been using that much Coco, but Coco plus 2 supports is very solid. I would actually recommend to go for Konomiya, so you can do S3 into Konomiya S2, and then Coco instantly kills something. I think it's safer than what I did here, but in the end, Coco does so much damage. Coco just needs speed, attack, attack. Don't go crit rate, don't go crit damage. And Coco will do a lot of damage on the S3 hits. So mine is doing 8k per hit on branding, which adds up to a, what, 40k hit plus the S2 that you do if you have all of the stacks. So that's just, it is so freaking much damage. And if you haven't built your Coco yet and you care about siege offense, definitely build one. We also tried her on siege defense for a while, but she was not that great on siege defense. As you can see, 8k per hit, so that was about like, what, 46k on the Kinky. Yeah, that kills a Kinky. Pretty sure. So yeah, build your Coco, boys. Build your Coco. Then the next one, a team that looks really dangerous on paper because you're like, ooh, it's Sylvia, one of the better siege defense units. It's a Gianna. Derpy unit, but still good unit, I guess. Very derpy unit. Could have S3'd twice there already. But yeah, because of that, I feel like in general on those teams with a, what's it called? With a Sylvia, I like to use the Feng Yang and Leo because just Feng Yang is going to get so many turns. Most of the teams with those Sylvias, they don't have any form of sustain. And the thing is, Leo just does 20k easily on armor breaks, and Feng Yang just hits 6k per hit on armor breaks. These two units do so much damage while there's so much sustain in this team. Plus this whole team of the enemy is built on like speed, which is completely gone by Leo. And therefore I feel like it's a very fair counter and a very strong counter into Sylvia's in general. Then the last hit, this is one of those more tricky hits. Weirdly enough, his Masha actually outsped the Kakano, which is kind of strange, but is what it is, I guess. But yeah, this is one of those stranger teams. Like I just wanted to use whatever is ruined up. That kind of makes sense, but it would be a lot safer to go into this team with a, let's say, a Hellfast and then a Rakuni, a Renuki, a Garo, those kind of units. It's a lot safer than what I did here just now. But however, my Douglas is pretty well ruined because this is actually the Douglas build that I use in RTA. So that's a pretty well built Douglas, and in the end, I guess it kind of works because of rune quality, more or less. A lot of my siege offenses work just because of rune outclassing rune quality kind of shit. So yeah, that was a pretty fast video. Went for a pretty fast 10. So yeah, guys, that was a pretty fast video, pretty fast 10-10. Next siege is going to be after balance patch. So balance patch just hit the moment I recorded this, and I'll upload it, well, in a few hours, I guess. So I have already checked a bunch of the units from the balance patch, like the Giyu, like the Meihao Wang, like the Carlos. In some RTA matches, I was not that impressed. But I feel like these units are being spammed right now. So the moment you spam a niche pick, because in the end these three units are pretty much niche picks, but the moment they are spammed, they instantly feel bad. So for that reason, I feel like that they might have still good potential, but we shall see. Probably make a showcase video on one of those, or maybe multiple. Either how, guys, hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.